Hi everybody, it's Julie. I'm here with 10 clusters, and we're supposed to make those first this time for the May Mayhem 2020 Junk Journal Challenge. And the clusters, you'll want to make those, one of your first things because you can use your clusters in your other items this time. So I recommend that you make your clusters first. So I have all kinds of stuff. We have to use stitching, sewing pattern, and paper flowers. So stitching, sewing pattern, and paper flowers, and to make our clusters. So to start off with, I went to the sewing machine and I just sewed a bunch of stuff. So I have some ribbon with some stitching. I have some of this with some tickets on it. This has stitching, this has stitching, this has stitching. Then I stitched some things together and added some lace on those. Yeah, there's strings on everything. Look at her, isn't she pretty? So added that. So these are all stitched. This is some washi tape stitched to a scallop edge. I did some around that. I wanted to use my sewing machine because of the texture. And so there we have with one of the, she is from the French Fashionista, 1919 French Fashionistas digital kit from the Dear Julie Etsy shop. And of course those are in my Etsy shop. All my digitals are 50% off while we're home. And so all of these have been stitched. That one didn't get stitched, and those didn't get stitched. So I have my little box here, but we did get a bunch of things stitched, so that gives me choices for things to use. I have my sewing pattern here, and I have also the paper pattern. I don't have the envelope to this particular pattern here, I don't think. Let me look real quick. Nope, don't see the envelope. I probably used it in something already. So yeah, no envelope. So, but you can use any part of a sewing pattern. You can use the envelope, you can use the tissue, you can use the writing page. So when your thing says that you need to use sewing pattern, you can use any of the parts. So we've done stitching. There's our sewing pattern. The other thing is paper flowers. So we're going to be making some paper flowers to add to each of these, because aside from these paper flowers, which we can use also, these are paper. So I have those, and then I have the green to use for my leaves. And I did do some of those in, so welcome to the messy desk. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. So to start off with, I had this sitting here, and this was here, and I was like, oh, I can use that, and I can use that. Neither one of those are things that I have to use. But they will work. And I'm missing my ATG gun. It's up here underneath all of this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put some ATG on this lace right here, and turn it into some washi tape. It's been one of my favorite things to do lately. Oh, it didn't take. Okay, we'll go from the center out. Okay, for some reason, I haven't had this happen in a long time. You gotta get it to a place where it has a start. Okay. Okay, so there we go. It should work now. It should. Well, so much for that. Okay, you can use fabric tack, or you can pull out your other double-sided tape. So I have this double-sided tape, and we'll just cut it, and we'll make our own. You can use your Scotch double-sided tape, any double-sided tape. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put this down. We'll cut this piece and I'll save it, because I can use that for the messy thread if I decide to put messy thread on one of these. Which, so you need to have all three items. You have to have sewing pattern, stitching, and paper flowers on each of your clusters. Okay, so each cluster has to have those items. There we go. So there's that. Okay, and then, okay, so here we'll have our sewing. Don't need the Arc de Triomphe. So, and we can go ahead and leave some of the stitching if you want to, or you can cut it all back. Okay, so that would give us our sewing. And let's use regular glue. Okay, you know what we could do? We could go right over here. I'm going to go ahead and use we're going to use fabric tack because we're on top of the lace right there. We'll go ahead and put some sewing pattern in here. So we'll make a sewing pattern ruffle right there. And that will give us our... Okay, and I'm just going to do it by putting it down and gathering it right on top of the other piece. Okay, so I'm putting it in the glue and grabbing it and pulling it, and it should all connect there. Okay. There we go. And then we have this, there's our sewing. So I have this ribbon that had double-sided tape on the back of it. It died, it's not working, so okay, but I'm going to go ahead and add this here. I want to be above the Eiffel Tower. Okay, and I'm going to end up, yeah, there's some, okay, but there we go. And then we're going to want to add one of our flowers. Now, for the embellishments that I made during the party, I did use messy thread. So I'm going to use some messy thread behind this. I just have this gold thread, and I'm going to go around and around and around and around, and then around and around and around and around. 3 fingers, 4 fingers. We'll cut it. We'll spin it in the center. We'll grab that piece of double-sided tape that we have left over, that we somehow put on some other stuff. Okay, we can go ahead, put that down. I'm going to use the gobbledygook from the fabric tack. And what that is it's where the glue is coming out of my fabric tack. Do you see that? It's like, that's normal. It does that. And I'm just going to grab from there. Grab some of that glue. That'll give me my leaves. Okay. And then the other thing I'm going to use is bling. And for my bling for this journal, I am using the black faceted, this bling from Michaels. And it has sticky on the back, but it doesn't always stick super well. So I'm going to grab some more of the glue from the fabric tag and just put it down. And yeah, I know that took a while, but there's my first cluster and I love it. This is going to be a great little addition that I'll be able to use. So next we have the, what's that, the Arc de Triomphe. And we've stitched on that. Yay. And let's see. We have her. She's really cool there with her lace. But I don't want to cover the lace up because then that's like a total waste of lace. I just grabbed these and came. I didn't even cut the strings. Look at, got the extra pretty stitching there. So that will go with this one next. We've got some stitching. Here we have one of our tickets, which also has stitching. So but we don't really need stitching. Ooh, we've got a doily. That's kind of cool. So what else do we need? We need pattern. And so sewing pattern. So here's a piece of sewing pattern that we did one of those out of. And let's see. I can go ahead and I love the color of these tickets. I hope she brings me more. They were brought to me by one of my friends. So I'm just going to stack some color here. And okay, so we have our stitching, we have our sewing pattern. And I don't know, that might be too big. Oh, we need flour. Paper flower. Oh, what if we put this in the middle? Oh, there's a flower. That's a paper flower. Okay, let's see. What else do we have over here? Okay, then I have things in this little bucket that we can use too. Okay, so I think I want some more of the red color behind that. So I have this punch here, and I have, let's see if we have another piece of this cool, yeah we do. Okay, so this is the awesome scrapbook paper that I'm using. Okay, so we know that we need to, you have to stand up with this punch. It's it doesn't always want to work. So you punch it down and you got to punch it more. And it's a EK Success, but we haven't been able to find it for a while. But I love it. So if you can find a little doily punch, it's kind of cool to have. Okay, so if we take all that, so that's where the circles are coming from, is from the inside of this punch. So if we take this, put that inside there, and then add the circle and the lace, and that will give us our paper flower. I don't like where it says Indiana Ticket Company, but Okay, so there we go. That stitching, flower, sewing pattern. So everything's on there. So let's go ahead and glue all this down. So this is from the 1919 French Fashionista digital kit from Dear Julie Julie. That's what I'm using for this journal. It's a brand new digital kit, and it's available in the Etsy shop for 50% off. I think I already told you that, sorry. I'm really excited about it. It's a really awesome kit. It's got large tags. It has some that can be used as pockets. It's just, oops, it's just awesome. If I do say so myself, turned out even better than what I expected. Love it. Okay, so that is that. Oh, you know what? We lost our numbers of our ticket. We'll just pull this down to the left here. Okay. There we go. Put some bling on there. Okay, so we have our flower, our stitching, and our sewing pattern. And so that is number 2. Number 2. Okay, so let's see if we can do, she should not be too hard. So we have our stitching, and I think we should put her flower underneath that piece right here. So like it's on the hat. So this this little piece of fabric came in Happy Mail, and I just walked by and went, oh, and cut a piece of it off. Okay, so there's our paper flower. We have our stitching, and we need our pattern. Okay, let's go ahead and take those out. And so here we have this. And I'm thinking we can go ahead and put a ruffle up on the top. Okay. I'm ruffling my stuff so that I can have a ruffle. Okay. Or it could have been a big flower. Maybe we'll do that for something. Okay. Wow. Is this the good one? Okay, there we go. We'll go ahead and take this and put it down. And you could sew that, and that could be part of your sewing if you wanted to do that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add some double-sided tape underneath that. Oh, we didn't get that working, did we? Well, I'm going to try and make that work. And you know what I did is I grabbed it from the wrong side. Okay, we should be okay. Okay, there we go. We have glue or tape, from the center, from the center. And I'm going to put that right there. Very simple. Okay, so we have our flower, our stitching, and our pattern, sewing pattern. Okay, very, very simple. Love it. Love it. And that's fixed. Put the pocket out. Okay. So let's go ahead, and we do have one more of the cards. She already has her stitching on. And so let's see, what else, what can we do different? Let's go ahead and let's put her on the pattern. Okay, like that. What do you think about that? We'll put her on the pattern, and then I'm thinking maybe one of these. No, we'll have it come out from behind it because I want to see the pattern. So let's go ahead, we'll glue this down. So we're going to layer this on top of our sewing pattern. Would it be really cool if I had a French pattern? I probably have in one of my fashion magazines out there. I probably have one. I'll have to look when I'm doing research. Okay. So there's our pattern. That would have been cool to do it with pinking shears. I don't have my pinking shear. I don't have my paper pinking shears out right now. Okay, so we have that. We have, this is the edge of some wallpaper, and I found this and I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to match my journal. And you're going, what do you mean? Well, I've got some stuff that I'm going to do blue, so. Okay, so that'll give us a bigger edge. So what else do we need? We need a paper flower. And, oh, we've got this. We can put this like this. I'm like, if you're stacking, you might as well. Okay, here we go. Oh, I want that. I want to see the pattern, Julie. Okay, so there's that. Okay. We can just put our paper flower right there in that spot. Paper flower. Oh, you know what? We didn't put a green on that. That's okay. We'll just consider it a different flower. So on this one, you see there's the circle. So I just went around and did the messy stitching around her. I really like the way that turned out. Could do the messy thread here. Probably should have, but I didn't, so that's okay. Here's our piece of bling. Okay, so there's our paper flower. our pattern and our stitching. Boom. That one's done. That's 4. Yay. Okay, let's go on. Here we have stitching and pattern on one. Just needs a flower. And technically we could call that a flower right there, paper flower, but we're not going to. But we could. Okay. We're going to go ahead and add our paper flower down here at the bottom towards that ribbon. And remember, you can add more things. You can add things later. The really cool thing about this, this time I just, after all those really chunky journals, I was like, oh, if we could have just used our clusters on our other embellishments, that might have really saved some of that space. Okay, so if you go and you make your cluster like this, and you go and you use it on something else that requires either the sewing pattern, the paper flowers, or the stitching, this will count. Okay, you don't have to have more stitching or more paper flower on that item. So just know that it really is it's a good thing. So like if you took this, I don't remember which thing, I think the pockets are sewing pattern. Pair of pockets, book page, no, pair of pockets has stitching. So if you took this and you put it on your pocket for your pair of pockets, you took and put that on there, that stitching would count. Okay, so there we go. 5. We're halfway there. Here we have some stitching. We need pattern. So you know what, let's use our, okay, so we're going to use the paper here. Use this up here. Okay, so we're going to use this piece of the paper. Okay, so that piece of the paper. And that will be sewing. And we're going to go ahead and make a little pocket. Okay, so I'm going to put that over, and I'm going to put this way. So just like we make a book page pocket, I'm going to make a pattern page pocket. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and use our postal scissors down here. Give us a cool edge. Oh, wait, we've got glue coming out. I'm not getting glue on those scissors. I was going to use that, but I don't want any glue on those scissors. So let's go ahead and let's make some more of our washi tape with this. Okay. For across the bottom, because it's not quite straight down there, but I can fix it with this, I think. So this is kind of going to be, you know, what you would probably do with a cluster, but I'm going to build my cluster on a pocket because that's what I want to do. Okay, I'm going to add my ribbon. ribbon down here. Crossed. Okay. Okay, so there's our pattern. And here is our sewing. Okay. Right there. I'm going to cover the word English because, you know, we're kind of doing French here. Okay, it's going to come off the edge over here. And paper flower. And I'm using basically all the same paper flowers. You can use a variety. I'm a little low, and I can punch them. But I do like my journals to have like a theme and have a way about them. And so this is messy string right here again. And I don't have any double-sided tape over here already cut. So grab the end, pull it up. Okay. And here we go. Put this here. Clamp it together, pull it apart, and you have that holding it. We're going to put it down here behind, at the corner of the Arc de Triomphe. We're going to add our glue for our flower. We need our leaves. The green ones are all stuck together. Okay, so there's leaves. There's this. I can put that on there. There. And then I have this washi tape. And I'm going to add it down here across the bottom. Remember, you can add other items besides what is on, besides your 3 items. So I have this great washi tapes that my parents had gotten me. So I'm trying to use those. So there's that. So we have our flower and we have our stitching and our pattern. Okay. And we'll just put that right in the middle of our flower. Oh, we need some glue, just in case. Okay, so what is that? 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 4 more. So let's see, what do we have? Oh, we have her that she's got stitching and she's got lace on a ticket. Isn't that pretty? Oh my gosh, look at. So we have her. What else do we have? Oh, we have her. Okay, she's got patterned stitching. We can get this one done real quick. So let's just add our, you know what? We are going to add fluffy flowers. Okay, so we need our other punch. So if you have been with me for a while, you've been introduced to fluffy flowers before. If not, this will be your introduction. And what I'm looking for is a book page. Okay, so Now we can use book page, or we can use pattern. Okay, you're going to want 4 or 5 pieces. Okay, and some alines. Okay, and we are going to put the alines on this little scrap that I threw up there. There we go. Let's grab some alines. And I use alines because it's a thicker glue, and it's kind of like white glue. If it will come out. There we go. Okay, so just need a puddle, and I'm going to use the back of this pen or paintbrush, and I'm going to go ahead, and I want the side that has the writing. I'm going to come over here. You know what? Let's go ahead and give this a leaf. Okay, so put some glue on a leaf down here in the corner. I'm going to put my first one. So this can be considered your paper flower. I guess you could count it as your sewing pattern also, because you're making your paper flower out of your sewing pattern. You're going to find you're going to want at least 3 items on your clusters though. Okay, so let's turn these over because they are in the wrong direction. And I want that one has the most writing. So I'm going to use that as my top. So I'm fluffing it around. See how I'm fluffing it around the end of the... It works really good too on a skewer. And I just got some skewers for the DIY. So I need to pull those out of the DIY box because I need some in here. Because this is too fat for this size. Okay, so there we go. Grab it. And you can do these and do them all white or whatever, and then you can paint them with your... Okay, so there's our fluffy flower. So that would be our paper flower for this one. And let's see. Bling. We want a piece of the bling. And the last time we grabbed the end, so. Okay, and there's probably already glue in there because we had it on the end. So there's our fluffy flower, and that gives us 7. So we have another one of those, sort of. This one is with the ticket. Okay, so we need pattern for this one, and we need a flower. Let's see, pattern. Okay. We have the gorgeous lace. We'll save that for another. You know, we did use some of this black on one of the other embellishments that I've already made. You haven't seen it yet because we're supposed to do the clusters first. Okay, so I'm just going to add this like that. Okay, we'll go ahead and glue this onto this piece. I'm just going to glue it onto that piece. Maybe give it just a bit of a ruffle right there. Okay, so there, and then we'll just come in with our glue. Come in with our glue. Okay, put that down. And we'll have this part will hang down. You can cut it off if I want to. And I am going to do the gold string and the white flower real fast. Gold string, cut, turn, so here we go. We're getting close. Oh man, can we get in there? Yep, there we go. Okay. Okay, so there and there. Add the white flower like we've been doing. I'm going to pull this aside. I'm not going to do any more fluffy flowers right now because this video is getting really long. Okay, we'll go grab some of that glue, go up, put that on, and put this on. Okay, and let's see, we have this with our stitching. We have, oh, this has stitching on it too. I love the 2-inch scallop. This might be my smaller one. Is it 2 inches? Is it? Yeah, it's 1 3/4. I like it. Okay, I don't like that. Okay. We have stitching. Okay, so another thing that we can do is we can take our pattern and punch a base. That's my from the Happy Planner, the little square things. Okay, so that could be our pattern. Okay, I like this. Okay, so I'm thinking ruffle this up a little. Put our glue on here. Oh my gosh, that's so much easier than what I've been doing. So there, we'll let it sit and then we'll set it down, okay? And then we're going to add our little okay, so we'll put her towards the edge here. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and push this down So we let it start to dry a little bit, and then I pushed it down, and that just much easier. Okay, so this is our other, it has sewing on it also. Okay, so we'll put our glue on this again, and cut those extra pieces off. We have an Eiffel Tower. I love it. Okay, so dot dot dot, which is something that I like to put in my journals with the bling. And I'm going to put it right over. Actually, let's go ahead and go between those. Okay, so the only thing we need to add, we need a flower. Again, we're sticking with the paper flower. I do have a paper flower sticker up there, but I don't know if that... Boy, can I make a mess on my desk. We'll put the flower right here in the middle. Add the leaves. Add the flower. Add the bling. I think we have to make one more after this. Okay, so that gives us another. Oh, you know what? I wanted the blue on that, but we'll just have to get that on when we. Okay, so what do we have? We have this one. We have stitching. We have sort of have a flower. We have cork too. Nah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have our washi tape. I'm going to cut this down here because there we go. Okay, so we need pattern. We used all of our... Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay. So I cut a strip off, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and whoop. Oh, darn. I'll start here. So, do we have one of those that is not, that actually went into my sleeve. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm going to grab this and cut another scallop. There we go. And I'm going to put glue on the scallop on this side. Okay. We were crunching it, scrunching it, crunching it. To make a scrunchy flower. Okay, you can count this as your flower or as your pattern. I'm going to count it as my pattern. Okay, need some more glue. Okay. And you can do it that way too. I mean, have your flower be that way, but I'm going to use that as, so it closes it. Okay, and then we have our sewn piece. We can add that. So we have our sewn piece, we have our sewing, so we have our stitching, we have our sewing pattern, and we're going to add our flower. We're going to go ahead and add our thread. Adding thread, thread, and thread. Thread and thread. Okay, so messy thread. And it works behind a lot of things, not just behind a flower. But this is kind of the theme that I've got going here apparently. And I do like to carry a theme through. Okay, we'll add our glue. Add leaves. And our flower. Okay, so I did do a video of 10 clusters for the last challenge, and I will put that video link at the end of this video. So if you want to watch that, you'll be able to watch that there. And that was using a whole bunch of different things for the bases. So there you go. It gives you another little idea using using our pattern paper. And so let's go ahead and move stuff out of the way of the messy desk and see what we made here this time. And so you did get to see the fluffy flower, and I will usually punch a whole bunch of those and have them so that I can use them. I don't have any right now, so there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. This one is the pocket 5. Little fast one, 6. This one is really cool, 7. 8. 9. And 10. So which one's your favorite? I think that they're amazing, and look at, I mean, they all look similar just by using that same piece of paper and the digital kit and then adding the tickets throughout. I really like this. So this is our 10 clusters. I'm recommending that you make these first, and that is so that you can take these, and we can take these now, and you know, you could use one on the cover. You could go ahead, and if you're doing the double pocket, you can just go ahead and add something to 2 of these, and you'd have your double pocket. You just have to make sure that it has whatever you're supposed to have in it. So, and that's going to be okay, but you still have to have all the elements or the embellishment parts for each element. So there's our 10 clusters. Find something to celebrate every day. If you are here for the preview, hello, I'm waving, hi. And if you've just joined us and this is your first experience with a junk journal challenge with Dear Julie, and you'd like to join us in the May challenge, the details video is in the description box down below. You'll want to check that out and then follow the bouncing ball. We'd love to have you. Also, I have put a playlist and a video up here for you to watch, and please do that because YouTube really likes that and it helps my channel. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Find something to celebrate every day again, and hit the notification bell so that YouTube might tell you every time I upload. Tell it you want all the notifications. Have an amazing day. Bye. Bye-bye.